Okay, we're live. We are live and we are back on Reddit after a very, very long time. So, hello, Reddit. Hi, guys. I
I
hope
was
you will.
just getting into the groove.
I hope you will shit on us like you have always done. That would be great because
Reddit is still dead, by the way.
no, Reddit is working for me. What are you talking about?
Well, then I'm not gonna check because it's not this for me. Anyways,
Okay, cool. So, welcome to the renewed Nandemo Podcast.
The
I don't
new
know.
one, yes.
I don't know if anyone on Reddit remembers the Nandemo podcast because, well, it's been a few months. But, well, we're back and we're talking about different topics. It's not only anime anymore. So, for those of you who called
It's
us
much
weebs,
more. Yeah,
you don't have to call us
you
weebs
were half
anymore.
right.
I was half
Called us
right.
weebs, you were half right.
Oh, yeah, you are half right. Yeah. But now
Yeah.
we've changed things around a little bit. We're doing we're talking about life concepts in general and talking about our thoughts as we navigate our lives.
Yes.
Personally, academically, for Sid,
And if you're
career-wise.
wondering where the main man is, the one who, usually gets all the clicks.
Yeah, he's gone. We kicked him out.
Yeah, he's gone.
He got
He has
fired.
since abandoned us.
That's one of the
basically.
things that. I mean, honestly, nobody remembers Nandemo on Reddit, so I don't think it matters. But anyway,
Yeah,
Reddit,
it
we
matters.
are Nandemo podcast where we are two random Indian guys talking about random topics.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. We can start.
And been a while since we've been on Reddit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now you know you're Indian, so you can get started with your jokes.
Yeah,
and
with
we'll
the
rate
race.
you as we did in the past.
Yeah, we will rate your racism, guys. We will actually rate your racism. We love it. But you have to be creative. The only rule is that you have to be
Apparently.
creative with your racism, and we are fine with that. Anyway, so with this one, we're going to be talking about self-improvement, and this couldn't
Self-improvement. Yes.
have come at a better time for me.
Honestly.
Because
I was
there's
like, damn, what should I do?
there's a lot of thoughts that I have in general, especially after our last conversation, which you can check out on our YouTube. Yeah, we talked about love. What is love? And that turned out to be a depressing episode by the end of it for me.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but it gave me a lot to think about because as for anyone who was tuning into our last episode, I was basically talking about how I've lost a lot of appreciation for things in life, and my worldview had become very corrupt. It had become very sad. It had become very negative, and I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I decided to take a few steps to self-improve, get back that
self-improvement. Wow,
exactly.
What a segue, bro. Like, do you
prepare these
cater
beforehand?
your life according to the podcast, or is it like the other way around? Huh?
Well, I do cater my life according to the
helping your
podcast. I do, yes. But yeah, I mean, it's just that
Look at this.
it
This
came
shit can't
at the
be
perfect time.
manufactured. This is real shit.
Yeah, it is real shit. That is true. It just came at the perfect time because
Yeah,
there are a lot of
perfect
things in life that I think I can improve upon, which I stopped doing a long time ago. But yeah, let's talk about self-improvement. Sid, what are your first thoughts when someone says self-improvement?
Yeah, so self-improvement again. See, self-improvement may be like it can be related to many aspects. Of course, it's making yourself better than you are, than your past version, improving in a way, but in what way? It can be many aspects, right? It can be you as a person, how you act towards others, your interests you like, your career, like anything can be related to self-improvement in a way. So self-improvement, is it just going up? You would say, like, suppose if life is a ladder, you climbing that ladder, and instead of staying in one spot or climbing downwards, just climbing it upwards. Would you call that self-improvement?
Yes, I think I would call that self-improvement. As long as you're climbing the ladder because of what you're doing and not like through luck or like some undeserved way of getting up the ladder, then for some reason, when you said moving up the ladder, I automatically thought of a corporate life where you're like...
not corporate, just the ladder of life. Are you saying like if you start at a higher position, but then you're not really climbing because you're already there? So
but I mean,
if you're high, you still have ways.
You still have ways to go. You
where
always
does the ladder lead.
you can always improve. Like the best in the world still self-improve every day. and that's what keeps them at the top of the world. Otherwise they would fall down very, very quickly because the people dying to reach that spot themselves. But self-improvement is something that we both have taken seriously for a lot of our most of our life. For me, at least, most of my life. For you, literally your entire life.
Yes.
And I think we're going to have like a very different opinion, actually a different story to tell. Not an opinion, our opinions are going to be very similar, but a different story to tell, because I stopped that path of constantly improving myself at some point while you didn't.
Okay.
So there's going to be an interesting take from both sides over here. And Control 9K says, I consider every change in behavior as improvement, so I'm always self-improving. Ketamine time. And he started with the drugs. Control 9K, everyone. Loves drugs.
Yes.
And the mod is here, surprisingly.
Finally. Yeah, finally. Been a while.
Been a while. But yeah, I will just turn my volume up a little bit in case anyone can't hear me.
Guys,
but
let us know if the levels are all right, because in our previous episodes, either Brew was higher or like I was like higher. So like just let us know how the levels are.
Yeah,
so
and we will adjust it accordingly. But
yeah,
self-improvement. We always, to give a little bit of background, both of us were we actually met each other when we were doing something for self-improvement. We met in Japanese class where we both the two.
We just weebs, bro.
Yeah.
Was it self-improvement?
We were just weebs. We're like, we need to understand the anime. Yeah, we need to understand the magic words. Yes. And we joined a Japanese class, and we actually didn't even talk to each other for a really long time after that. And then towards the end of the Japanese class, that is true.
I was like, what the fuck is this guy's name? I don't know how to address him.
My full name is very, very hard for people to say. And eventually, like, we were the only two left at that, after the point. And that's when we actually started talking and realized, hey, you are a weeb too.
You're a weeb too, yeah.
And I introduced Sid to a few manga, which he owes his life for, to me now. Because, I was the reason Sid read manga. Hey, you are an anime only person. But either way,
that's true. I won't deny it, yeah.
Let's not make this a Weeb 101 episode. But yeah, we did that I did that at least to improve some aspect of myself. I was like, I want to learn a new language. I want to learn something new. I want to be a better person. And I was on a journey over there.
That's interesting. Like, because I never actually thought about why why I started learning Japanese. But for you, was it just because you like anime? Because you were studying Japanese in college too at that point, right?
I studied Japanese in college because I did the Japanese class. The reason I started was actually, so it's really funny to think of now, but
I remember
at that time it was like a borderline neckbeard moment where I got rejected by this girl. Like she actually, like, I told her I liked her and she literally blocked me on everything and stopped responding on anything instantly. And I was like, hey, what? Like, excuse me, like, what did I say that was so wrong? I literally just said, hey, you know what? I like you. And I was like, you know what? Now I will get better. I will prove it to the world that I am worth something. And it was a very stupid thing that started out like that. That was tying my self-worth to how good I was at things.
It makes sense. Like, a lot of people do that in your situation after breakup. They're like, now it's time to, like,
yeah, but this wasn't even a breakup. It was just like, I was like, hey, I like you, and she's like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, rejection. Sorry.
And then and then she I learned after like 2 months that she was leaving the country. I'm like, whoa, this is like interesting.
Yeah,
this is very interesting. But yeah, because of that, I started learning a lot of things. I went for guitar classes. I did drums classes.
Drums, yes.
I've started Japanese. I started cooking a lot more and all these things. So that's why I actually started Japanese, because it's like, I want to learn something new. I want to make something. I want to learn and improve myself as a person. And just there are a lot of things which are very interesting in the world, and I'm doing nothing but crying about this girl who blocked me. So I was like, I need to do something, and that's what started the whole journey.
Pretty good way to do it, yeah.
And before anybody has a very snarky comment about it on YouTube or Reddit, she and I are on very good terms right now. Okay, we're good friends. We check up on each other often. And okay, wait, somebody on Reddit said we're mute. What? How are we mute? Oh, I'm mute.
You're mute?
Apparently. Oh, okay. This should be fine now.
Okay.
This is why we need somebody to check our stream because it just randomly was.
Yeah.
We have
Get
fixed
on
it.
it, mods. Anyways.
It's at times like this I miss Audie. He would check the Reddit stream, make sure everything
Well,
was
he's
going
right
fine.
there. Tell him to do
He's cooking.
it. Okay.
But yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's yeah. She and I are on good terms now. We check up on each other often. She reached out to me surprisingly, and she was like, "Hey, I hope you're not weird now." I'm like, "Yes, I'm not weird now. Hey, what's up?"
You're like, oh shit, maybe I'm weird. Who knows?
No, those weren't her exact words, but
Okay.
I could sense the hesitation. Like, hey, maybe should I talk to this guy? But yeah, it's all good now. But it did lead me to a lot of interesting things in life. It did lead me to learning a lot more than just Japanese, and it. So I mean, it's similar for you also, because in school we were bullied a lot. So once I wanted to get out of that cycle that I was in school, and I didn't want to live in that constant bullying, and that's when I started improving myself to actually be a better person. And I realized that itself helps you a lot when you move from one place to another, especially.
Yeah, I think when we moved to I think for you also, but when I moved to Mumbai is when I started getting bullied. Like before that it was chill, right? Like
Exactly.
fuck Mumbai. even though
The
even though
city
we live
sucks.
here. Yeah. But maybe I don't know. I don't live in Mumbai.
Yeah.
I live in Buenos Aires. but anyways. Uh but yeah, after we moved here, but then again my reason for I don't know. I never thought of it as self improvement at that point, like learning new things. Because even I used to learn drums, go for like all sorts of different classes, like Japanese. I used to keep learning new things because I found it interesting. Like I've been going for like drawing classes all my life since I can remember. I think when I was like a little kid, I went like when like computers were new in India, like there were these classes where they taught you how to paint on like
Yeah.
Microsoft Paint, MS
Wow.
Paint. Yeah. So I used to go to this like center that had like these dabbas when like I didn't even own, like my parents didn't know like what a PC was.
Yeah.
And they used to teach you how to like paint on MS Paint. Like
Damn.
ever since I was a kid, I remember going for like different kinds of classes. But that's just because like I've always like wanted to do like learn new things and like try new things in life. I never saw it as self improvement. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I want to do it, kind of thing, like.
But that is
And
what
it's
it is
just
at the end of the day.
yeah, that's what it is at the end of the day. But it's just that, and like later in life, I realized that yeah, I don't want to do just one thing. I want to keep trying and doing different things. That's why even still I like just keep doing like different. Like maybe it's a bad thing, but
Being a generalist
I
in life
yeah,
and
yeah,
not a
probably,
specialist.
but yeah, but for me, I'm like, I just want to try, I just want to try new things in life, and I don't know if that's self improvement or not, but for me, I think like right now, I think yeah, that's cool. I can experience all these new words, learn new things. So I think it
Yeah.
really helps in
And
that case.
and also I think as like teenagers whose
Hmm.
lives are run basically by this social status that you have, doing these things improved your social status. So I was like, yeah, I need to
Social
do that.
status. Hmm.
I need to
Hmm.
be one of the cool guys. That was also one of the
Oh.
reasons I started
Hmm.
doing certain, like for
By
example.
learning Japanese, you're a
No, no,
cool guy.
not the
Like,
Japanese part. By that time, I
okay.
realized that it's all bullshit. Thankfully, I realized it a little early on. But
uh,
but before that,
hmm.
I bought a football, and I used to be
Okay.
the basketball player. Okay, like literally, there
Hmm.
used to be two people in the class who knew basketball, and I was one of them. So me, that guy, and the coach would be on one team, and the entire freaking class would be on the other team because they didn't know how to play.
Hmm.
I mean, it was a small class, but still, there
Yeah.
were like 10 people against us.
Whoa.
And but everyone liked football. Like football was like the game
Yeah.
to
It
be
was.
a
It
cool
was quite
person in
popular.
India. Yeah.
I was in my school's football team for quite a while
Oh, you're one of
actually.
the cool guys. Or you're one of the jocks, huh?
No, I was like a nerd who was in football, I
Yeah.
guess. Actually, I wasn't even a nerd because I was shitty at like studying. I guess I was just somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Just
But
lost. But yeah.
yeah, but I bought a football and I practiced tricks like every single night. Like I would go, I would play games and all that, and then I would
Hmm.
try like I don't remember any of them around the world
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
you flip your foot around and then kick the
Oh yeah.
ball up.
Yeah.
and then you have there were a ton of I would try dribbling the
Yeah, there are
ball.
lots of
Yeah.
dribbling.
So I would be doing a lot of these things just to look cool, and then it didn't work. And then my little kid me sat back and I was like, this is stupid. And then I actually started looking at things that I was interested in, and then I started reading more, I started writing more, and then I started practicing other things. It was really fun. And Control 9K says, "World is bully. I want to leave Sag." And he asked, "Were you cool after that?" I am very cool now. Okay, look at me. And then he said, "I tried playing football with friends and realized such social interactions are not worth it." Yeah, I mean, they're worth it for a lot of people, but for me in particular, they were really not worth it at all. I mean, those weren't the type of people I wanted to keep in my life either way. So I was just like, yeah, I don't care about you, and I don't care if you like football. But anyway, moving past that, yeah, I mean that was the time we started. I think because of school life, where we're like, okay, need to do something new. Because like you, I'd gone for basketball classes, I'd gone for table tennis classes, I'd gone for cricket classes.
A lot of
Yeah, so
cricket. Whoa, damn! I never got into cricket. That was one thing I couldn't fucking play. I sucked ass at cricket. Like I've played most other sports. Classes I only like football and tennis because that's what I played actively. But cricket, never, dude. I'm the worst at cricket. Like the worst. Like in any situation. Like there have been like matches, for those who know how cricket works, like where my team needed 1 run to win, and I'm like the last batsman, and there are like 2 overs left, and I wasn't able to score a single fucking run. This happened like 3-4 times.
My God.
That's how bad I am. Yeah.
My God.
So, yeah, that sport is not for me. But anyways.
Christ, that's terrible. For me, my cricket class, like the last ever match that we played, my friend and I were the captains, and that was the only time I got to be captain. And I was the last batsman over there as well. And except here, I bought like a proper bat, okay, and I had this little kid bat that I used to use. And this big proper bat, I wasn't able to hit with it. I'd been practicing.
Height, basically.
Yeah, I'd been practicing with it for like a couple of months at that point, and I still couldn't hit properly with it. So for the last over, I took my little kiddie bat and hit a 6 and won the game. And I was like, I can't believe that worked. I actually can't believe that worked.
Yeah.
And Kato Lanke says I did karate as a sport, and now I can beat up 6 kids instead of 4.
Good on you.
I like how you beat kids up. That is interesting. But yeah, so I also went for swimming classes. So the classes were always there, and then it just became this thing where I started doing things to help myself instead of and learn something new instead of this. But just a quick segue from that.
Go on. Okay, yeah. I was just saying at that point you didn't realize you were doing it for self-improvement, right? Like consciously. You were just like, hey, it's fun, I want to do kind of thing, right?
Yeah. But so an interesting thing that I think we might have different paths here. I read a lot of these self-help books to try to become.
I've never read a self-help book. Yeah. Okay, so continue.
I predicted that answer because I think we've talked about this before. But what are your reasons for not reading self-help books ever? What are your thoughts on self-help books?
Okay, so as you know, I'm like a very skeptic person in general. When you know that, like,
to say the least,
difficult for me to just trust shit.
Yeah.
And also I've never like needed to, I would say there's never been a point where like I need help in this area, let me read like this book kind of thing that helps me. Like also like I used to read a lot, like I still do read to some extent, not as much as I used to before, barely, but I used to mostly read like fiction and like stuff like that, but never got into self-help like that genre per se. Because like for me, I'm like, oh, this interesting story and stuff like that. I don't want to read about like 10 steps to improve my life, because honestly I don't feel like my life is that bad kind of thing, so I don't want to read a book to
Lucky
improve
you.
it. Yeah, I was never in like the frame of thinking where I'm like, okay, I need help and this book will help me out. I was just like, yeah, like I just read whatever I find interesting, that's all.
Well, so at some level I do agree, because I think self-help books they give you like basic information. They give you what is obvious already, and somehow they make a lot of money.
Help. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I've never read one.
But the main thing, like I think self-help books are very generic, and they just do whatever. But then at that time, I had a really bad relationship with my parents. I would barely talk to them, and it would only be they would be shouting at me to study or exercise or something like that. And had a really tough time at school as well. So I literally had no one to teach me the basic stuff.
Hmm.
Like how do you deal with people in social situations? How do you control your own emotions? How do you make sure that you take care of yourself every day? Even stuff like that I had no idea about because I
Oh
literally
yeah, same.
would not talk to
Yeah,
my parents at all.
100%.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where I found self-help books really helping because they were like,
Okay.
hey, you should do this. I'm like, whoa, I need to do this.
I see.
And that
So
was
it did
very,
actually help you.
yeah, it did
Hmm.
actually help me. But then looking back at it, I'm like, damn, I was a stupid kid. I just didn't know shit.
Yeah, but all kids are stupid.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's very true. But yeah, I mean, I understand the hate self-help books get, but I actually think they're very helpful for
I think they're
teenagers.
more popular than they're hated. Like
Yeah, they are very
usually
popular, but
when
they're
I'm
like,
talking to people, they usually many people are, yeah, I read this book and it really helped me out, kind of thing.
yeah,
So
but
I
it's
think they
it's
get.
it's a polarizing topic, I think, because people are either for it or against it, and very few
Yeah.
people are just like, eh, because they're like, oh, the self-help books, oh my god, they don't teach you anything. And other people are like, self-help books changed my life, and
Yeah.
there's some people, very few people are like, I don't know, I don't care about self-help books. I've seen both sides of the argument, so I can understand both sides. It's just that I really think it helps kids growing up, especially if they don't have someone to teach them basic social stuff.
Yeah, dude, like I just had to like make mistakes and figure it out basically. Like I didn't have a book to tell me what to do. So that's good. Like, you got a leg
Yeah,
up there. Because
got a
I'd
leg
be
up
like,
there.
I don't
Yeah,
know what the fuck to do. Okay, let's just try shit.
yeah, but then again, your school life had improved a decent amount before we started Japanese class, right? Because the last couple
Yeah.
of years of school, you're already getting up
Yeah.
there. For me, it was like the
Mhm.
last 6 months of school. And
Okay.
I was like, I need to do something. And Control 9K says, self-help books say, get good or cope harder. If we need someone to meme every single thing we say, Control 9K is the man for that.
Yeah, sometimes you need some memes.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
was I don't remember which book it was. I don't even remember any of the books I read, but one particular statement which I genuinely don't know who said it or where it was written, but it's this thing which I think about a lot even now, which is that if something is worth doing, then it's worth doing badly. So I at first I didn't understand this statement very well, but then it's like if you need to brush your teeth every day, but if you can't brush it, if you don't feel like brushing your teeth every day, then doing it badly is still better than not doing it at all.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was something that I legit didn't have in my brain because with severe depression throughout, I was just like I would go days without like moving or changing my clothes or brushing my teeth, and then after the first root canal, that changed a lot.
That
Everything
changed
changed
a
a
lot.
lot,
Yes.
and
I
the
can relate to.
yeah,
After my first two root canals, I got two together. I was like, fuck, okay, gotta like fix
take
my
care of
shit.
this shit. Yeah,
Yeah, brush. I went extreme, dude, because of like how much I worried about that. I used to brush like 3 times a day. If I
my
ate a
God,
snack, I'm like, shit, I ate a snack. Let's brush, kind of thing. I went like fucking
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I still do that,
Hmm.
but I mean that was a very very helpful statement, I think, in general, because
Yeah,
it
that's
taught me
true.
that yeah, you're not going to be able to do things all the time, but just do them, even if it's not the greatest effort. Like you don't need to cook like the most healthy meal ever every day, but try to be a little healthy. Do it
Yeah,
badly, but do
it's
it.
do it. Yeah, exactly. That's what's important. Like just attempting it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that I mean that weirdly, I think for people suffering with from mental health issues, especially because I'm speaking from experience here. That is something that actually changes your life, but in a very different way because you end up doing shitty things. I wouldn't say shitty things. You end up doing important things shittily, but then you realize slowly over time that it's actually making you feel better at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. Like also, yeah, in a lot of situations, like for me, like practicing drawing is like the most painful thing ever because I'm always like super hard on myself when it comes to drawing. Like
When it comes to
and
everything.
yeah, but I'm talking about drawing here, and when I'm like, oh shit, like it looks like shit, and like it really hurts your motivation to draw when I'm drawing, and at the same time, like, oh, what I'm drawing looks like shit.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, yeah, you just have to keep drawing, even though like it comes to the state where like, fuck, I'm drawing stickman now at this stage kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, today I don't feel like drawing, but like, let me just draw for practice. So like, yeah, eventually you do see the results. Yeah, but it's slow and it's painful.
Control 9K says that this means staying bad and not improving unless wherever you rate it had further steps. No, so that's the thing. It's not about staying in the same place. So it's more like this. I'll give you an example that actually
Or
happened in my life over
getting you
there.
out of a rut.
Yeah, basically that's the most important part. What happened to me was I stopped exercising completely. I wouldn't do anything, and then I thought of this, doing it poorly but doing something, and all I would do is go for a walk. And every day that I would go for a walk, it would go on for longer and longer, and then that walk became a regular thing. And then by the time I even realized what was going on, I was walking 10 kilometers a day. I don't know what that is in miles for Americans. Sorry, but
whatever.
Yeah, I was walking a lot.
You have a calculator.
I could
it out.
I could hatch one of the big eggs in Pokemon Go, the longest one.
Yeah, the 10K one.
Yeah, the 10K eggs I could hatch those in a walk. Yeah, and that is something that actually helps. Or like, you take a shitty shower every day, but then you keep showering shittily every day. Eventually, you are going to spend more time in the shower.
Does that
Actually,
mean shitting while taking a shower?
No, that does not. No, that is a big no.
Okay,
I am against that idea.
As to your practices in the bathroom, anyways. Continue.
Yeah, I started working out and strained my hamstring while doing lunges badly.
Oh damn! Yeah, that's bad. Yeah,
that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying do something badly. I'm saying do a poorer version of it. Like,
yeah, don't fuck your hamstrings up like that. That's incurable in most cases. If you tear it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're exercising, you start small. Start with stretches. Like even now, like I have this back problem. I'm literally, I don't know if you can see it here, but I have like a little brace over here.
A little corset.
Yeah, I have a little corset that I have to wear every time I sit for any amount of time. And it gets incredibly painful to sit for like more than an hour and a half. But I just started doing like small stretches in bed while lying down, because I mean, I'm not doing anything anyway. I'm just going to be staring at my phone. So might as well do some stretches. And that actually helps. And I started doing more and more of them.
Damn, that's cool.
And I mean, that's the sort of stuff I'm saying. I'm not saying just stay in one spot and get your hamstrings pulled. Lunges are small. I had to stop after that. Well, if you're starting exercising, I don't think lunges are the best place to start. Maybe like start with push-ups at the least.
Hey, for a lot of people, push-ups are impossible to do.
That's true.
So again, depends on like you basically and your experience with exercising.
No, but that's another thing. Like even with push-ups, it's like okay, sorry, Frenchy Mama 807 on Reddit 1 minute ago asked, "Is this pre-recorded?" It is not pre-recorded.
This is pre-recorded.
Talking to my God, wouldn't that be the ultimate? Yeah, this is pre-recorded, right? As the comment comes in. But this is not.
How did you know?
This is not pre-recorded, and it's just that people aren't commenting too much. We're reading comments on YouTube right now. So if you guys have any comments on Reddit, we'll read them out as well. It's just that nobody has commented so far.
Yes.
Yeah, and Control and Case says that's what I don't like about self-help books. They generalize everything, whereas it doesn't apply to everything. I mean, of course, there is nuance to everything, but it is a very good starting point for people who have no idea where to start at all in the first place. Like again, to use the exercising example, you don't need to do push-ups right at the start. You can angle your body and do push-ups against a surface and then slowly go down.
Like you can keep.
Yeah.
Also, maybe self-help books like my brother right now. He keeps talking about how like reading like this self-help book on finances have really helped him manage his money and invest. That's something which he never learned really and didn't know anything about, and he's
which is not taught also.
It's not taught, and like apparently it's really helping him out. And that's something that I'm terrible at. So I'm like, yeah, damn, maybe like he can give me.
Yes, that is something you're terrible at. Clearly. But yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting point, because self-help doesn't only mean about general life stuff. It can be specific as well.
Yeah, it can be specific.
Yeah, and I think like people are it's self-help doesn't have to be like a book saying, okay, here's what you do to make your life better. It could be a
Hmm.
video you're watching to learn something new. That is a form of self-help as well.
Yeah.
Like
But
what if you're
self-help is usually associated with self-improvement, like personal like development things,
yeah,
like usually, right? That's what people say.
Spotify had a finance playlist and I went through it. All of it was just spend less to save more. Well, I mean, that is the basics of
Well, that is
saving, you know. I mean, yeah, it's a lot more nuanced than that. Like that's a starting point, though. You start off
Mhm.
with that, and
Also,
Control
like,
9K.
since there are
I'm a little
so
concerned
many
about
ways
you now.
of, no, there are so many ways of like so many sources of information. You really got to do your research before you
Yeah,
find like one that helps you and caters to like what like stage of information you want.
that's
Maybe
true.
if you don't want something basic, you got to find something that can give you more information about how to save instead of just say that something that says save money, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, again, depends on that. Like, yeah, like I was just talking to my brother, even he was saying like he found a lot of books that were just like save money, but then he found one or two that they were actually giving him tips of like how to save, what to do, and like apparently that actually helped him. Yeah. Mm.
Control Lanka says, "Don't worry, I don't spend. Otherwise, I would have sent some dough to you via coffee." Well, now but time to
Oh, we
loosen
have
up
a
those
coffee
purse
apparently.
strings. Yeah, you
Yes.
should save.
Mm.
Don't donate to this podcast
Yeah.
unless you're filthy rich. In which case, you can donate as much as you want.
Unless you're like a Saudi prince or something, then sure,
Yeah,
we'll take it. We'll take that oil money.
yeah, we'll take the oil money. I mean, we have a support Ukraine message on our
No
description,
one
but
reads
that's
the
okay.
description.
Yeah, no one
Yeah.
reads the description.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, another fair point about the finance thing as well is that a lot of people need to be told to spend less
Yeah.
because you don't really, if it was tax deductible, I might, well, Sid, is there a way we can make the podcast tax deductible? All the donations to the pod, we're a charity, we're
Sure,
helping
I
people.
know, I know what that means. Yeah, of course it'll be tax deductible. Send
Okay.
it. I know taxes. Yes, of course. I don't pay someone to do it for me. I do it myself every year.
Of course. Yeah, but a
But
lot of
yeah.
people do need to be told to spend less and save more because it
Mhm.
seems obvious, but a lot of people just live paycheck to paycheck while they maybe, I'm not saying that
Yeah.
everyone can do it, but there are a lot of people,
Mm.
someone who used to be on the podcast, who can save
Yeah.
money. And
Mm.
he's looking at me, he's giving me the death stare.
I hear him. Mhm.
But yeah, there are cases where you can actually do it
Mhm.
as long as it's just said to you. But yeah, interestingly,
Would you count? Would you count like learning about savings and having better finances and all as self improvement?
of course,
Like, yeah,
definitely.
a tool to like live in our society.
Yeah,
Like, is
because it's so important. It's so important,
It
and
is, yeah, definitely.
yeah, and the thing is, like, recently, our producer of the podcast was
Mm.
sitting down with me and helping me with investments and stuff. I was like, I don't understand that shit about any of
Yeah.
this. But then he just does some of his magics, and he said, here is how much you might get in 2 years. And I was like, oh whoa, I need that. I don't understand what you're doing. I don't know how you got there, but I need that. And
But
he
I
was like,
need that money. Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll take care of it. I'm like, thank you. I do
Mhm.
not know investments at all. But it's so important. I think it's definitely self-improvement. All
Yeah,
soft
yeah.
skills, I think, are self-improvement. Like learning to cook, the number of people who can't cook is
Oh
astounding.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, like for me, I've always loved cooking. Like ever since I was a kid, I wanted to cook, and it's like something I really like enjoy doing. It's not like a chore. It's like cooking has never been a chore for me.
Yeah.
It's something I'm like, oh, I wanna cook today. Like it's
Yeah.
like a fun like
Making something really
activity for me.
interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, but a lot of people, yeah, it's a chore. Also, small things like I love going to grocery stores and supermarkets. But that's some people are like, fuck that shit. Like I don't want, I
But
don't want to
I
do
must
that
I
shit.
must say, going to a grocery store with you is painful.
Hey, why? It's I just want to see what
You-
they got.
Yeah, and it's not just that you want to see what they got. You're like, hey, bro, look at that amazing thing that you really need in your life. And then you walk away and I'm like, oh, I need to spend on it. And then I lose all my money that way and I don't save shit. So you make sure you don't save anything and then you make sure I don't save anything either.
Yes.
And Deep is back. Hey, pain,
what's
suffering,
up?
love, and now finance. What a broad spectrum. Well, we have just started
yeah.
talking about random things now. So, well, glad you're here though. They're coming to more important things slowly. Hey, pain,
Yes.
suffering, and love are important.
And finances now apparently. But
Yeah.
yes, we'll tie it back. It's all related to self-improvement, we think.
We think. But yeah, at some point, I stopped doing what we usually do, which is practicing every day and learning something
Yeah.
new and trying out new things. And that was due to a lot of different reasons, mental health being one of the biggest ones of them. And I can see my skills stagnate. Random Utako says hello.
Okay.
Hello, Random Utako.
What's up?
But weirdly, like this is why there's another thing, Control 9K, in case you needed another point for the do something but do it poorly type of thing. I never learned in depth everything about whatever I know. Like I can do ads, I can do writing, I can do social media stuff, I can do video editing, I can do audio editing, I can shoot with the camera, anything related to media I can do. But I've never gone in depth into any one of those things, and I've done them all improperly. And I stopped improving myself at some point, but then right now at work, I'm still able to do a great job because of all these skills that I accumulated over the years. So even if they're not top notch, they're enough to get the job done when somebody else is not there, or if something needs to be done and I can do it instead of them having to hire a new person entirely. So it just helps out. It helps out my career and helps out the people who are hiring me as well. And it helps out any company that you work with, as long as they're not exploiting the shit out of you.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So, but you're saying you are still learning, but now you stopped and you're just using what you already know.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
So you say you're stagnated.
Yeah, feels like I've stagnated. I wouldn't say I stopped learning entirely. It's just that not at the same level that it was at. I started learning more about like theories and like philosophy and reading about a lot of things, but there's no practice. There's no, like, I'm not writing regularly to practice writing, which is a shame.
I see. Yeah, that way.
And
because of inspiration, like motivation, like what would you say?
I would say it's just like a serious lack of motivation, which caused me to go down this mental rabbit hole, which took me a long time to even realize I was in. So the lack of motivation came from there. I was like, okay, I'm depressed. I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to lie in bed all day. And then I just ended up becoming a habit. So I shittily took care of my mental health, and then that led to me not being able to do shit. It just led to me becoming worse overall in life.
Yeah, and now, but like, I guess self-realization is also part of self-improvement, right? In a way.
I know that was stream kind of boring. Hey, you need this. You're a kid. You should listen to this stuff.
And what are these guys talking about? Fucking taxes and work and improvement.
And Control says shit. You started learning about different theories surrounding King and his child. Yeah. I have to catch up, but I haven't caught back. Hey, that was a beautiful theory. Okay, come on.
No, that was one of your worst. Anyways.
In my defense, that video was supposed to be a joke. It was literally supposed to be a meme video where I was laughing about it as I was talking about it.
What is that rule? What's that law? If you do something, if you parody something for too long,
then people take it seriously.
Yeah, exactly. See, then you take it seriously, not people.
Like the Megumin joke that keeps going around.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, you were saying.
No, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do have small moments of that, I would say, where I actually, I feel like I suck ass all the time because of how harsh I am on myself. But no, I do have small moments where I like I want to do so much that I end up not doing anything.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
I want to do this, I want to do that, but then I'm like, fuck, there's so many things to do. I'm just going to sit here and think about it, kind of thing.
And not actually start anything.
Yeah, and then that also sucks because you're like, oh, I'm just sitting here. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, what are you doing, you useless piece of shit? Like, what are you doing? Why are you just sitting here?
Yeah, do something, right? And then like, oh, I want to do something. But again, like also I've started doing a lot of things that I like haven't continued, like just because they were interests, like even related to art, like painting. I still like painting. I don't paint as much. I think I should paint more.
Yeah,
Like I buy paints, I spend money on like painting equipment and brushes and stuff, but I don't paint
yeah,
as often as I think I should. But I still don't think it's a waste for me, like investing in that, because it's just still something I like to do. And I think painting for me is self improvement,
yeah.
because
Of
even
course.
though it's a process I enjoy, even though I see it as like me chilling, I think I still put work into it, like,
Yeah. I
still
mean,
trying to improve something.
like our hobbies have always been weirdly like helps in some way, except
Mm.
games maybe. But even games like you think a lot, you strategize a lot.
Yeah, dude, like,
We don't play
no,
the mindless
honestly.
entertainment games very often.
Yeah, no, but for games, right? The thing is, like, I do really love playing games, and I've always loved playing games. But like in
You get
recently, like,
addicted.
yeah, the thing is, I get really into it. Like, anything I do. So you must know this about me, knowing me for such a long time, right? So like, I have this stage where like I find out about something, like curiosity, then I get really interested into it, like fully, like I dive deep into that universe. I tell everyone around me about that shit. Like I'm only talking about that shit, and like fully into it. And then I reach a state where I'm doing it, and then it becomes like solemn, where I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing it because I know how to do it. Or
Yeah,
I'm bored, let's move on. And like when I'm at the stage where it's getting boring, I find something new and I just like abandon that and like
yeah.
jump into this new thing. You know that very well,
I
right?
know that
Hmm.
very, very well. Yes,
Yeah. So that is something I've done, like with games, with like anything in life. Hmm.
that's true.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but yeah, I just keep finding new
Well,
interesting,
it's
like,
your thing.
things to yeah, basically. And I don't think it's a waste that, oh, I invest. For me, it's not a waste where I'm like, oh, I invested time in this for this many months, maybe I could have just drawn or
Yeah,
animated more. I don't think of it that way
yeah.
necessarily, like as a waste.
I mean,
For
we
me, it's still
also
part of self development.
yeah we also take our breaks. It's not like we're only working all the time. So
Yeah.
that's important as well. But one sec, Control NK says it happens to me as well. I just say F it and stop feeling bad about leftover things and sit there not sad. But you're still sitting there, like so you're doing the same thing. It's just that you're not feeling as sad.
Yeah. And
And
I can't even get to the stage where I say F it, because like
yeah,
I'm like, no, I can't F it. I
I
gotta
can't
do
F it. Yeah.
that.
And Deep Yadav says, all my motivation for self improvement comes from frustration and introvertedness. And Forrest Dan, hello Dan, says, damn, that's Deep Yadav.
What comes from frustration? Well, at least it motivates. Like,
Yeah,
I don't, even if it's from a bad place, sometimes it can be motivational, right?
it can.
Sometimes
Yeah,
your situation can help, like, you're like, oh shit, I'm in this bad place. I really gotta like pick myself up and like,
exactly.
improve myself in order to feel better,
Yeah.
right?
And
Because, yeah, even like my sucky ass drawing skills motivate me to get better at it. That's why I keep practicing, right? Hmm.
yeah, but another thing is
Hmm.
that what we consider self improvement is also like
Hmm.
we're just too
Yeah.
hard on ourselves all the time.
Hmm.
Our self improvement comes from not like Deep has it from frustration and introvertedness. We have it from calling ourselves pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, that is true. Like you're always hard on yourself. You keep shitting on yourself. That's why you keep improving, right?
I mean, but
But
that's
do you
not
think that's
healthy at the same
necessary? Yeah, do
time.
you think that's necessary to improve? Like,
Yeah,
do you think
it's
because you
not.
can improve without
Yeah,
like being shitty on yourself, right?
yeah. You can actually just motivate yourself in a like maybe
Yeah,
instead of saying, "Oh my God, you have such a long way to go, piece of shit, you're so bad," you can be like, "Hey, you've come this far, only a little bit more
yeah,
to go to reach
exactly.
that level." And
Yeah, that
I
would
don't
be
know.
good.
If I think it's like it'll take a whole paradigm shift in our brains for that to happen.
No, yeah, definitely. I think you can be like, oh, look how far I've come, and look how far I can go. But the look how far I can go part is the one which hurts. So maybe
Yeah,
like the thing is, when you're improving, like, in any case, people tend to compare yourselves to like like other people. Like suppose drawing, you compare yourself to another artist. But if you compare yourself to yourself from like 5 years
5 years
ago,
ago, yeah,
then you'll see improvement. They'll be like, damn,
huge
I'm much
improvement.
better than I
Yeah,
was, right? But people never do that. You always compare yourself to something out there in the world that's better than yourself.
And the problem with us is we compare
Hmm.
ourselves to like people who have achieved pinnacles in their own fields.
I know, right?
So like,
Terrible.
damn it, I can't draw like Miyazaki. I'm like, well,
Hell.
and I'm like, hey, I can't, I don't know, write like Eminem, I guess. When I'm like, oh well, of course not.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's
yeah,
it's
I don't
bad.
know.
It's
Do
bad.
you think that's it's not a healthy thing to do, right? But
It's
yeah,
not
of course,
healthy at
people do
all.
it. Yeah, it is much healthier to reflect upon yourself and improve
Yeah,
than like use others as this source to shit on yourself. Yeah,
and
we got some comments. But anyways, yeah, you were saying so.
yeah, a very weird thing though is that, well, so okay, let me just phrase this correctly because it's going to come out
Hmm.
sounding very wrong otherwise.
Hmm.
What the hell is going on in the comments? I choose not to do it. I can choose not to be sad about it. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, you can choose not to be sad about it.
Yeah.
Deep says, yeah, thanks. I try to live up to my name, and Control 9 is cool. And I'm not as rich as Bezos. It's the richness in your heart that matters. It's like a
Getting
new
deep.
level of memeing. Now work
Yeah.
overtime for 4 hours, please. Hey, that's never happened to me. That has never happened to me.
Yes, of course. Not yesterday, not today, not day before.
Yeah, of course not.
Hmm.
Yeah, but one thing that really I think would have helped us if we had the motivation to do it, because we were big social media users in the past, is that we never put out work for people to see on a daily basis or like a weekly basis or
That
something
is
like that.
true. Yeah, never put out. But that's also because of the fact that we felt that we aren't good enough to put our work out
That's
there
there,
because
yeah.
it's shit.
But at the same time, like
Yeah.
if you look at a lot of people who do, Drew has clearly not improved. Hey, that is offensive. I have improved a lot. But yeah, if you look at like people who have art accounts who are like, not, they're not maybe they're not professional artists, maybe
Oh
they
yeah,
are,
yeah, yeah.
but they have
No,
accounts that they put out their
exactly. Yeah.
work. Yeah, they just do time pass and they put that out as well, and that gets them the extra validation that they need to be, go the next mile. Like someone might be like, hey, I really like the way you've drawn this. They're like, okay, that means I've done good over there. I can improve. I've improved
Yeah.
this aspect. I can improve the
Exactly.
next one. Yeah, and we don't do that. So I feel like we
No, we don't do that. Yeah.
throw
I
ourselves into
remember.
the pit.
Yeah, I remember I told you, right, like old, like a lot of our old projects I was showing some people, some
Yeah,
friends, and they were like, yo, this shit really good, like why did you stop? You should have kept
yeah,
doing it. Like I've told you before, like a lot of my projects, like things we have done, I've done, I show people, I'm like, yeah, I used to do this but I stopped. I used to, but they're like, why, this is really good, you should have like kept doing it. But like you just reach a stage where you're like, yeah, I'm just doing shitty work now, it's become like just like monotonous and I'm stuck in this rut, so gotta move on, gotta improve, or gotta leave it and try to do something better.
yeah. Well, we have abandoned a lot of projects. Now, this
Yeah.
podcast is actually our
And
longest running project.
yeah, and yeah, maybe again, yeah, of course, like posting it online, all those things, maybe they do help, like in a lot of situations, because they're like, oh, people actually like what I'm doing, because you get out of your own head, right,
Yeah,
of being like, oh, my work is shit. You're like, oh, people actually like this. Damn nice. Like, I'll put more work. I'll do more of this, I guess.
yeah.
But then again, do you really need, like, maybe because they're humans, like, do we need other people to tell us, oh, this is good? Because most of the times we are in our own head.
Yeah, that's the problem. We're in
Hmm.
our head so much that if
Hmm.
so the other flip side of that is that we've gone so far off the deep end into that pit that when somebody comes and is like, you did good work, we're like, yeah, okay, stop being sarcastic, you little shit. I know it's shit, okay? Don't lie to my face about my work being
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Because of the skepticism, you're always like, fuck you, don't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
I remember like I was at a cafe,
Hmm.
and I was showing one of my friends like my work. I was like, yeah, I like back in the day when I was like, yeah, I'll show you my work. I do this, but it's like really shitty, like it's really bad. I just kept shitting on my work. And I was giving her the phone to see my work. And she was like, yo, sit, like, wait, like, can you let me look at your work and figure it out for myself? Like, before saying it's shitty, it's bad, before even showing me the work. Like, she yelled at me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, because I always just, involuntarily do that. I always shit on my work. I'm like, yeah, I do this, but it's like shitty. And
Kitty,
they're like, yo,
yeah.
like, let me check it out. and figure it out for myself if I like it or
Which
no.
is
I was like,
fair, which is
okay,
very
yeah,
fair.
it's fair, yeah. Hmm.
And
And yeah, it made a lot of sense then. But yeah, it's a journey.
we
But
need
yeah,
that
I'm not
positive
as hard as
reinforcement
I used
somewhere.
to be on myself, I would say. At
Yeah.
least like 5-10 years ago, yeah, it's become much lesser. And I was like, even 5 years ago, I was a stage where everything I did needed to be like perfect. Like I used to like put like 10 hours in, but now I'm like, no, it doesn't need to be that way because I'll never reach that. I'll always keep working on it. So at some point, you got to stop and like just, release it. And like these are things I learned working in like different places, working with different clients, bosses,
Yeah.
when I went and worked in Portugal. I learned all these things. Yeah. So I have been easier on myself,
That's good.
over the years, which is helping. Yeah. But there's a tiny part that's still like, like, yo, you lazy ass, work more.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, even if I spend
Mm,
like 12 hours in
mm.
office, I'm like, did I do enough? Did I really finish all the work I could have finished? And then I'm
Yeah.
like, and you know that you have those days where you feel like 100% and you're
Mm,
whizzing through your work. And
mhm,
I finished like 7-8 articles in like 4 or 5 hours, and then I'm
mhm,
like talking to my boss. I'm like, yeah, I did these many. He's like, what? You did
mhm.
what? Like, okay. He's like 7. Like, yeah, 7. Like, okay. Like, are
Yeah.
you sure?
I
Like
remember
today?
that.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, today.
Mm.
That, yeah, but then I don't know. I still feel like, isn't 7 like normal? Shouldn't I be doing more? Like, why are you happy with 7? But then I
Yeah.
have to stop
Yeah.
and be like, no, okay,
Uh-huh.
it's okay. It's good. 7 is good. And Steve
No,
says Sid looks like he's about to smoke joint and talk about the evils of capitalism. We can talk
yeah,
about the
I
evils of
could do that.
capitalism
Yeah.
all you want, yeah. And
Yeah.
he looks like
Pass
he's
the joint, dude.
he looks like he's about to take 500K in cash and get chased by a guy whose last name is Sugar. He looks like he cooked
I
meth with
like.
his skin professor. He looks like he's going to slip and fall on a good patch of ice. My God, you guys are.
I like these. It's pretty fucking cool.
I mean, evils of
Yes.
capitalism. We Sid and I. That should be our next episode. The evils of
Oh, you
capitalism.
so damn.
No, I mean there are
But
a lot
yes.
that. But yeah, and I feel like
Hmm.
I should get back on that self improvement thing. And I've realized it's not only about self improvement in terms of how you have to think if you did your salary versus company's profit worth. Well, that's how they calculated my salary in the first place, and I'm definitely living up to that and more. So I would say I'm doing pretty well. But yeah, let's see.
No, yeah, but again, for me, like when it comes to animation and making things, yeah, when I'm really interested in the project and it's like something really interesting story wise, when I'm creating something like really beautiful, when I'm invested in the production, I am not really thinking about the salary or the profit and all that, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm working on like a short film or like an animation or something like that, because I'm like invested like in the characters, in the story, like I'm trying to paint the frames and make like really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But when the projects are like really boring and it's like some shitty corporate thing, then I'm like, okay, yeah, now let me think about the profit, because I don't want to do this work like it's
Makes
boring
sense.
shitty corporate design work or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So
makes
again,
sense.
like if it's something really cool that I love the story and all, then I'm like, yeah, I just want to do this, even though it may hurt me, it may pay low, but it's just cool.
Yeah,
So there are these two sides to it also.
that's true. And Control and says, no, they make a lot more. Yeah, of course they make a lot more, but that's the evil of capitalism. Sid does
Hmm.
animation? Cool. Sid, you have revealed the information about yourself to
Oh
the
shit,
public.
I told them I'm an animator.
Yeah. Sid's an animator.
Yes, that
He
is.
worked on Demon Slayer's latest episode.
I wish. The latest episode, huh? Which one? Been a while.
Yeah, the big fight one.
Uh-huh. The big
Fuck,
fight
I haven't
one.
watched the Demon Slayer anime also.
Yeah, you haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, but I mean, self improvement
Hmm.
also, it's not only about you. Like in certain cases, not all the time. It's also not only about you, but it's also about how you are with others.
Oh
Does
yeah,
that make sense
that's
to
a
you?
big aspect of it. Yeah, no, definitely. It's also about how you impact the lives of people around you, basically.
Yeah. And
Because
yeah, go on.
yeah, because you can like you being a certain way and being down and like always being like cynic or sad or any way about life, right, can affect other people around you. You feeling shitty can make other people feel shitty
Exactly.
because like we're humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, I think
So
that's been my one of my bigger realizations over the last few days, which is that
mhm,
can I really, how do I say this without putting out too much information? Very weird. But if I'm not me, if I'm not making an effort to be the best version of myself that I can be, can I
hmm.
really blame others for not being the best with me? Shouldn't I
Yeah,
first reach that
interesting.
point where I'm like, okay,
Hmm,
I'm good. Like here, I have found where I'm supposed to be. I have reached the place that
hmm,
I think I should be at, and I'm going to continue improving from here. And I feel like if I do that now, then it will bring back that love for life and love for making something great and doing some
hmm,
good work and
hmm.
so on, which will then also help others around me, because then they feel more motivated or they feel happier to talk to me or some stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And no, again, the point where like if you're down and you're feeling like the way I behave, will people like treat me that way because I'm being negative, and like the perception of who I was may change, right?
Yeah.
That happens. And also there are people who are like, oh shit, dude, you're being this way, you gotta like fix, you gotta get back to who you were before. And like those people are great. I wish I was that, but I'm not. Because I'm like, fuck, this guy is gone, fuck it. Kind of, it's just terrible, I know. But it's difficult for me, because again, I don't like to impose on other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's your journey, you'll figure it out, make mistakes, figure it out on the way. Like I don't like giving people advice, because I don't think like I'm like smart enough most of the time to be like, yo, you should do this, I know you. Like I don't say that shit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you'll figure it out, kind of thing.
You're
But
more of the
yeah.
gentle push towards a random direction instead of just
Yeah,
straight up. Not
like,
even a
oh, you're
gentle
doing
push.
this.
It's like
Yeah,
a subtle hint. You're like,
yeah.
maybe this, maybe I don't know, but maybe.
Hmm.
I mean, I think your mood
No,
at any
because
time
I
is
have
infectious.
realized there have been moments, like even talking to you, like in the past even month or so, like when we've been talking about different things related to jobs and stuff, where I was like, Drew didn't used to think this way about jobs and
Exactly,
companies. He was like, he wanted to get out of the rat race, and he's telling me to join the rat race. That's like unlike Brew. That's quite
exactly.
strange. Like it
Well,
didn't change
there is
what I
a,
think about it. I was still like, fuck you, no. But
yeah.
I was like, interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, but then again, there were other factors. To be fair, there were other factors like your amazing money saving abilities, which had to be taken into
Oh yeah, I
account.
don't deny that.
So that line came from, it was influenced by like every aspect of
Yeah.
life before it came
Hmm.
out. Hey, and
Hmm.
in my defense, I also said that you should do something on your own, and then you were like, no, I either do this or nothing, and I was like, okay, but then maybe you should get a job.
Fuck that shit.
And have
Sid's the guy that made Demon Slayer. No, I did not make Demon Slayer. I wish. I said I wish. I'll let you know the day I do get to work on season whatever. I think I'll
five.
get over before I get a chance.
Yeah. And
But
have
I
you
am
ever
trying
met
to get
someone
into
who's
that
finished that
industry.
journey? I think the only way you finish the journey is when you die.
Yeah. I don't know what's the end of the journey. Like we're talking about the ladder analogy,
Yeah.
like how life is a ladder and everyone's like either you're like on the ladder stagnant, either you're climbing or you're going down. But
Yeah.
like even if you're going up, like I don't know where it leads. Like why do you need to self improve? Like what's the goal at the end?
And that's
Because you're all
actually,
gonna die anyways.
and that and that goes on to control 9K's comment, which is, what's the point of improving? Wouldn't being comfortable with
Yeah.
my current self make me happier than chasing to be something I'm currently not?
A lot
Well,
of people are happy with
yeah.
how they are. A lot of people are like, a lot of people don't change. For a lot of people, change is unnecessary. Like I'm happy with who I am. I know myself. I stay that way. But I think change is necessary. And like I don't know, maybe it's just me, but
Change
I
is
feel like
necessary.
I want to keep changing. And like I think if you change, it's a good thing. You should keep changing.
Yeah, not
If you're the
changing is
same
like,
for me, then it's something wrong. Like
yeah,
what's going on here, kind of thing.
if you're not changing, then your brain is stagnant, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I meet you after 5 years and you're still the same person, I'm like that's weird,
Yeah.
something went wrong. Yeah.
And I mean, the change could be anything,
It could
but
be anything. Yeah,
it has
but you
to be
need to keep
something.
changing and growing as a
Yeah.
person, through your experiences,
Yeah.
through life. Yeah, I
That's the
feel
main thing.
that's
If you don't
important.
have those new experiences, then you're not going to get a chance to change in any way.
Yeah,
So that's the most
exactly.
important part of the whole thing. And
It's-
Wow. Okay.
uh,
I like how after memeing the hell out of us for like the entire episode, now they're getting into the topic.
mhm.
But Deep says, I mean, people who talk about it all the time. And first then says, if you finish it when you die, stop the journey and go do something else. And Katranke says, so the journey has no fixed end. What's the point of continuing it if you know it'll just continue? Because the journey is the main thing. It's not the end goal. You're never going
Yeah,
to
it's the
reach the
journey.
end goal. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're just going to be learning something new about yourself every day and learning something new in general about the
Yeah,
world, and that will make you a better person. It'll open up your mind.
yeah,
It'll
exactly.
like the reason why a lot of people are like racist or homophobic and stuff like that is because they've literally not met and interacted with people who they hate. And if they just did that, it would actually be a lot easier to understand that everyone is human at the end. There's this
Yeah,
one, I forgot the name of the guy, unfortunately, but the guy who the black guy who went into the KKK and started converting people out of it. Do you
I
know that
heard
guy?
about that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard about. There's a movie on it or something. I heard. Yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
know a lot about it.
That's basically what he did. He changed their minds just by going and talking
Mhm.
to them. And he basically was
Mhm.
like, hey, look, I'm human too. Hey, I have a different skin color, but I'm
Mhm.
human. And that was a huge improvement for the world, I would say, in general. Daryl Davis. Oh, Daryl
Oh,
Davis. That's the
Daryl
name.
Davis. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was like a really cool story. I was like, wow, it's incredibly brave, and it's like really, really cool that he did that. And the
No, yeah, definitely.
comments are going faster. So once
Yeah.
again,
Whoa.
people get happy by chasing stuff they want. Why do you think that? Even if they don't reach it, there's still something to keep them occupied. I guess goals are inherent to human nature. Yes, definitely agreed with that. You cannot have, especially in the modern world, you cannot have
Yeah,
a
it's
life
just how
without goals.
society is built. Yeah, you just gotta do something on. Like there are people who still live without goals. Who like for them living is a goal. Just experiencing life.
Yeah,
There's lots of people who go through that way. They're like, oh, I was born this way. I'm going to live this way. You don't need to have goals to like get rich or like do a certain thing in life in a certain field.
yeah,
Either become like an engineer or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be work goals. It can be like life goals. My goal is just to like experience life how I want, or
yeah.
like live life the way I want. Like it can be anything. But I guess people do have goals no matter what it be. But it doesn't always have to be like towards the traditional, the way the society goes.
Go to college, get a job, get married, buy
Yeah,
a
it doesn't
house,
have
have
to be that.
kids.
It
Yeah, it
can
doesn't
your
have to
goal
be that.
can be anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And Fazdan also says, I dislike the concept of the journey of self improvement. It seems more meaningless than meaningful, but I can't come up with any good alternative other than just having fun, doing what you want, taking what you want, which
Yeah, but is
is,
that no the journey of self improvement? Are you talking about the traditional journey like
yeah, it's a
that
fair question to
society
ask
tells us, or
first.
like what is your journey? Like where do you
Yeah.
want to go in
What,
life?
what
Like
according to you is self improvement is the question there. What are
yeah,
you defining as self improvement? Because I feel like you
is it
doing,
getting a job, all that, like all that,
yeah.
getting a job, car, blah blah blah? Is that self improvement for you, or is that just what other people want for you?
No, but I'm more interested in the last line that he said, which was like having fun, doing what you want, taking what you want, and
Mhm.
those things are innately tied to self improvement, right? Because if you're having fun with something, you're always going to improve whatever it is they're having fun with.
Yeah.
So if you're playing games, you want to get better at the game,
Mm.
and there's a reason. Even there, you have a goal. You're like, okay, I want to become
Yeah.
good enough to beat the game
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
beat the other person, and doing whatever you want. That's something that you can only do if you
Yeah.
self improvement, getting better at anything with a purpose. Okay,
Yeah. And again,
fair. That's
depends on your even talking about something that's like there's this documentary by about Paula Scher. She's a great graphic designer. All graphic designers know her. So she has this thing called serious and solemn design, when design is serious and solemn. So she talked about when she started in design, she was really interested. It was a new thing for her, right? And she was serious about it. She was experimenting, trying new things, doing like all these crazy, magazine covers and vinyl covers and stuff. And then it started getting solemn. She was like, yeah, I get into a rut. I'm doing the same thing every day, like zombie mode kind of shit. Like I was losing interest. But because she liked design and liked doing it, she found a way to make it serious again. Where like, oh, I'll put typography on buildings and like experiment with that. And so even if there is something you like and you reach a stage where you're like, oh shit, like it's not something I want to do because I feel like I'm stagnant. Even within that, you can find a way to make it interesting for yourself, you
You'd
know.
find a way
But
out.
you gotta, yeah, exactly. By not getting out of it, I'm
Yeah.
saying, by not abandoning it.
Yeah.
Like if you like it, you still can find a way where it's fun for you.
Makes sense. And
Hmm.
Dan says, well, read the above purposefully, where you're essentially doing something just to get good, solely to get good.
Hmm.
But nobody, I don't think I self-improve just to get good. Like I don't want to write just to become a better writer.
Yeah,
I want to,
yeah, dude.
like, I want to write
I don't
and
think
become
that
better so that I can write, like, I can put out better stories
Mhm.
and put out better
Yeah.
ideas into the
And
world.
and like I didn't start learning how to play drums because I want to be John Bonham or anything, you know. I just wanted to play drums. So that wasn't my goal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I didn't want to get good. It's like fun, so I want to do it, you know.
Yeah. But
Like,
you're still improving at the same time because you're learning something.
yeah, I am improving, but like animation, yeah, I felt like, yeah, okay, I'm animating, I want to become good at animation, you know. When I see all these directors and studios, I'm like, fuck, you know, I want to get good. But the other things I do, which I also count as self-improvement, you know,
Yeah.
like how I started, like I bought a MIDI,
Yeah.
you know, and I started learning how to like play piano and stuff. Like my goal is not to like become a great musician or anything, it's just something I'm doing for fun.
The next Hans Zimmer here, guys.
So yeah, all these different, it's just for fun. And it's still like learning languages, I like learning languages, but like, you know, like I have no goal, it's just fun. That's why I'm learning, it's just something I enjoy doing it. I learn about different cultures and, you
Yeah.
know, societies and how people live through the language. That's why I like learning languages, that's it.
Yeah. Makes sense. And also, like, talk about dance, you make music to say too much information
No, I
revealed. But
learning.
to talk about dance point, which is just to get good. Like, if you want to get better at cooking, you want to do it because you want to explore new flavors and like, taste,
Yeah,
like, eat
exactly.
cool things. That doesn't mean you're doing it just to get good. Or if you're working out, you're exercising to be healthy, or if you're exercising to get a physique or whatever you want.
Yeah,
You're not doing it
yeah,
just to get good, you're doing it for a goal.
yeah.
I just flicked my mic spring over here. Yeah.
And the goal doesn't have to be this extreme, like be the best. It can just be something for yourself, like, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to enter bodybuilding competitions, but you can still be
Yeah,
in
you can
great
do it
shape.
because it's fun for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to the idea of doing something with intent, but just to get good. It can always relate to multiple other things that
It can be just, you know, you're curious about it and you want to see where it leads, kind of thing.
exactly.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
stuff about self-improvement. But I'm just mad because I get worse rather than better. Okay, then what are you doing to get worse rather than better?
Yeah.
I'm very curious now about this. It's
No, but and
also about how much you
depends
practice.
on what. Yeah. What you practice and the level you want to get to. Because if you feel you're not getting at that level and
Yeah,
you're
that's
too
true.
hard on yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like if I'm not drawing for a while, I feel like I'm getting worse at drawing.
Yeah. I mean that's what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
With
So
anything.
in that way, yeah, that's true.
He's learning things badly. But I mean that's also a fair thing to say, because if you're learning if you're not learning from like a base to an advanced level, then you will get stuck somewhere along the way. But
Yeah,
I
and
don't see
also
how you'll
depends on the
actively get.
method though, bro. Like if you feel like the method you're using to learn, whether it's self-study or from someone else or academic or anything, if that's not working for you, find a method of learning that works for you, right?
Exactly, yeah, that makes sense. Every attempt at getting better ends up with me getting worse, not just in concrete self-improvement, but in my character or personality. Can you give an example of that, just without revealing any personal information, of course, but
Have you
any
guys
example
watched
that can...
Southpaw? Yes, I have. Jake Gyllenhaal, I think. Yeah, cool movie.
that says I can say I get better with concrete self-improvement. Yeah, I mean, but in your character or personality, it really depends. What do you see as better and what do you see as worse? It doesn't matter what other people see as better or worse, because
Yeah, it matters what you see.
yeah, I could become a different person and I could be really happy with myself, but Sid might be like, dude, you suck, like you become a terrible
You suck.
fucking person, like what the fuck. And I would still be like,
Yeah.
but I'm still happy with myself. So
Yeah, exactly.
that, for me, that would be like getting better, but for an external person it might be like getting worse. Both I and other people think it's worse. Lol. Okay, what I really would like an example. I'm so confused right now as to what
Yeah,
this
if you
could be.
want- Yeah.
I mean, again, it's not like we are professional self-help experts over here. So
Oh,
take
not at
everything
all.
we say with a grain of salt. This is literally just our life experience of fucking up and trying to get better at things.
And reading a little.
Control 9K says, example, I spent money to buy financial literacy self-help books, which taught me to spend less. Yeah, it's like one of those books, like how to make $1 million, and then you open the book and it's just like the word thanks because that guy made $1 million just selling the book.
Basically.
I now have less money than I had before doing the same thing. But now you won't spend it ever again. See, that's improvement
towards the future. Is that how they try to get you?
No, I wasn't thinking of it that way.
Okay.
It's just being an unpleasant person. I don't know what examples I can give you a lot. Okay, you know what? I can relate to that a lot because I feel like I'm an unpleasant person to be around right now. And what?
Yeah, but do people tell you like, bro, you're an unpleasant person? No, right?
No,
it's just you in your head.
Yeah, but I also feel like my decline in passion for life in general has affected other aspects of my life.
Yeah, but
and other people in my life.
Most people aren't thinking about, like, most people are just thinking about themselves and their own shit most of the time.
Yeah,
most people aren't going out of their way to be like, Brew is unpleasant.
No, I didn't mean that. It's like it's more like, okay, let's say if I was the way I was before, then maybe we would have been working on some other project at the same time as the podcast. Or maybe we'd be working on a movie because there's literally a 4K camera in the house which we can shoot movies with. We could be working on a movie. We could be working on a short film that we can make for a certain competition that is coming up. Sid, and wink, wink.
No, I'm out.
Okay. But yeah, all these things are things that we could be working on. And it's not only with you and the people who are immediately around me, like even with my girlfriend, the way the relationship is going, it could have been very different. Like I wouldn't have, I feel like if I don't believe in love and I am pessimistic all the time, then doesn't that affect her view of the world as well? I'm not saying she's going to be like, okay, you know what, you're unbearable to be around, but she's going to be like, okay, yeah, maybe true love doesn't exist. Like the guy I'm dating doesn't think it exists. So yeah, maybe like,
yeah, that can definitely happen.
Yeah. So that sort of stuff. I'm not saying that people are going to go out of their way just to tell me I'm sucking ass, but it's like it affects people in different ways. Like there's a lot of lost potential is a better way to put it.
Yeah, there's a lot of lost potential, and also most people don't like. Most people aren't even telling you like you suck and abandoning you, or you suck and like let's try to fix this. Most people are just like they're thinking about themselves. Yeah, they're like, oh, here's Brew. That's it. Yeah,
but it's like, here's Brew. Oh, I used to cook with him, but now he doesn't cook anymore.
Now he doesn't cook. But again, that's like for them, they're like, but I'm just gonna do it because I still like it.
Yeah, exactly. Thing, right? But the thing is, like, then it's not necessary that it's always going to happen that way as well. Like it
depends on how influential also you are, because like if you see people lose interest in something, your friends, you stop doing it, or sometimes they're like, oh, I still like this, I'm going to do it even though.
No, but it's also like, imagine this, like, let me paint you a picture here. For example, let's say this is something that's actually happened, so I can talk about it, and if I want to improve on this personally. So my girlfriend and I used to talk on call every day for a couple of hours, 1 or 2 hours max, and we would just it would just be a random thing where we'd be spending time with each other. And over the years, as I became more and more pessimistic, the calls became less and less frequent. And I'm not saying that's entirely on me. That's, of course, she has a part to play in that as well. But eventually, because of whatever happened, the section of time that we had dedicated for each other at that point has become something where we either watch something or we play games or whatever it is. So
but spending time together in different ways.
We're not spending time together at all. We're doing our own individual
by
thing.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be because I'm like, okay, maybe this true love thing doesn't work out, so it doesn't matter if I talk every day. I'm not saying it's that direct, but slowly as my perception changes and or the way I think about things change, it can affect people in very different ways. Yeah. Like instead of like it might even be like not spending time with people which I otherwise would have, and they would have also spent time. Like this one friend I haven't talked to in a long time, but we used to spend time. We used to keep time aside for each other very regularly. So that's something that affects their life as well. And it's like, it'll be like, I'm not saying it's going to
Yeah,
keep them
dude,
up
you
at
gotta
night.
fucking go out and chill sometimes. I keep inviting you, like, I'm just gonna sit at
Yeah,
home.
exactly.
Fucker.
See, the number of times we've gone to random places is reduced as well.
It's become zero.
Yeah.
Whenever I
So
tell you, bro, let's go somewhere, like, nah.
yeah, so so it's not like you're sitting up at night like, why won't Bru come out anywhere
Yeah,
with
of
me?
course.
But it's
I'm just
also like,
going.
hey,
Yeah,
I used to go with Bru. He's not there anymore.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that's the type of thing I was talking about. And we have
Hmm.
a few comments. Hold on.
It's
Uh,
unrelated to this.
Control 9K, would you like to invest in my new crypto coin? No, I don't spend money, but you'll have more money if you spend more. Trust me, I read a finance book. How much are we talking about here? I'll throw in a Snickers, $2.7. Is a Snickers large or small? For $2.7, do you really expect a large Snickers? And okay, I don't know. This is a very interesting
I don't
business deal.
know
I will
how
say
much
that much.
sneakers cost, honestly. But
Yeah.
yeah.
For us, it costs 30 rupees.
No, but yeah, definitely, like, you may realize that too, and yeah, it does affect people around you, and it
Exactly.
depends on how, they are impressionable or not, and it doesn't also affect a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then it's on me to be like, okay, you know
But
what? I
everyone is
used to
on
do
their own,
this.
like, journey, right?
Yeah,
Even
of
though
course.
you kind of influence the people in your circle, but everyone is still on their own journey. And yeah, maybe sometimes things like that can bring you down if someone else is down, or may still keep you going. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, what you said is true. It
No, but
happens.
especially with people you're in, or you're dating, or people you're living with, I feel like it affects them a lot more, which is something that I want to actively improve upon, because I feel like I'm not being the best person I could be to actually
Yeah,
do
definitely.
these things. So, I mean,
Yeah, people in your immediate surrounding who you're like with every day, dating, even people you're living with, yeah, definitely it affects
yeah,
them the most, I think.
of course. So that's an area of self improvement that I need to focus on now. I feel it's something that I can do a lot better. Like,
Yeah,
I do need to think about my career self improvement goals, but I feel like that can take a little bit of a break compared to this more immediate problem. Large for a
yeah,
true man, it
definitely.
says this time. But yeah,
No, yeah,
first
for sure.
then, so if
And
you, yeah, you're going, go ahead.
no, what were you saying? I was going off into another
Oh.
tangent, but
No,
yeah, what
like
were you saying?
if you feel like you're being an unpleasant person, then the only thing you can do is, what is your idea of being pleasant? What do you want to
Yeah.
do that will make you feel like you?
Mhm.
And it shouldn't be tied to anyone else. It should just be you. Who are you comfortable
Yeah,
being?
what do you want to do?
It's not
And
only what do you want to do, it's like, who do you want to be overall? Like, if you want to be a happier person in
oh
general,
yeah, yeah,
then that's
yeah.
something you can work on in particular. If you want to be a more supportive person, that's something you can work on, but it has to be like a conscious thing that you work on every day.
That you
And
try to do,
yeah,
yeah.
because like,
And
even when it comes
again,
to,
also I would say, if there are people holding you down or like preventing you from self improvement, no matter how close they are, sometimes it's okay
you
to
have to
let
cut them
go.
out.
It's good to cut them out. Like, it's very difficult to do. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to cut people out. But if it's for the sake of your self improvement, and if they are pulling you down in life, yeah, you definitely should cut them out.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean we're advising you to, like, just the minute someone says something negative, you just be like, out with you.
No, no,
But
not that. Just reflect on it and like figure it out yourself.
yeah,
No,
if it's like a
like,
toxic
but also,
situation, especially.
yeah, like sometimes, like talking about how like, this is just my personal
Yeah,
experience, right? Where sometimes, where I talk about how change is important, right? And sometimes when I meet people like from my past, school, college, whoever, and most people have changed, but some people are like still the same. I feel like still the same. And when I'm with them, I feel like I'm going back to the same version I was when I was in that state of time.
yeah,
I'm not able to be my like
yeah.
new self, who I am now, changed self, with those people,
especially with
because they are
especially with
like
the
the
way you
same.
talk and behave. I think that's something
Exactly. I
I've
become that
noticed. Yeah.
person I was in school or whatever when I'm there. And I don't like that. So I do try to avoid that, because I don't want to go back to that, you
Yeah,
know
I completely
yeah, so I
understand
do
that.
try to cut it off as much as possible. It is difficult to do, but I still try to do that.
Yeah, yeah, it's very difficult to cut people off when they're close to you,
Yeah.
but it's sometimes
Hmm.
sometimes necessary, especially
Yeah.
especially if it gets to the point where you have no hope left for the other person. Like they are going to be this way, and I can't do anything to change that. Nobody can do anything to change that. Then it's best to keep your distance, if not cut them out outright.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, people do change once the gravity of the situation is shown to them. So always give them a chance and give yourself a chance. I think that's the
Yeah,
most
again,
important
I
thing.
give them a chance, but I'm not going to give them 10 chances. Like
Yeah.
I gotta live my own life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like Dan should also give himself a chance.
Oh yeah, of
Always.
course. Always give yourself a chance. Always. Yeah.
Because if you're being
Never give up on yourself.
yeah, if you're
Because
being
there's
hard on
always
yourself and you say you're an unpleasant person, the more you repeat it, the more you're going to internalize it, and the more you're going to just become more unpleasant because you think you're unpleasant.
yeah.
And also, like, I mean, yeah, we know you from YouTube comments and Discord comments, but you don't seem like an unpleasant person.
And also, yeah, again, like we don't really know him and he doesn't really know
Yeah,
us
of
either.
course.
So yeah, basically.
Well, a validation from a random person in life.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
but
there are always ways you can improve on something.
there are always ways you can improve on something. And yeah, and also when I was trying to read about this and like find, I didn't get a lot of like
Yeah.
information out there except an allegory.
My
I found an
God.
allegory.
Are you
It's called,
serious?
yes, another allegory, bro. Are
Oh
you
my God.
interested?
Yes, do tell.
The allegory of the chariot. You know, I love my allegories.
Yes, you love your allegories.
Have you heard of the allegory of the chariot?
No, I
bro?
have not.
So it's about a charioteer where you are the charioteer.
Okay.
And first time I use that word in a sentence.
Yes, that's
ever.
true.
And you're driving a chariot, and the chariot is like your life or your soul. It's
Okay.
Plato's allegory, obviously.
Of course.
And he says there are two horses that are like, guiding the chariot, which are
Okay.
you have control of the reins. One is like
Yeah.
a white horse and a black horse.
Okay.
And like the white horse keeps going towards like self improvement and all these other things, and the black horse keeps going towards like what sounded like religious sins to me.
Okay.
But like bad
Interesting.
ethics and all
Yeah.
these traditional bad ways and the traditional good ways. And Plato was like, it's for you to decide where you want to pull the reins, and you got to keep doing that throughout your life.
So
And
basically,
that's how he
just keep
describes
adjusting,
self-improvement.
adjusting those two, the negative
Yeah.
and the positive, and
The positive, yeah.
see which one needs to be pulled in, which one needs to be
Yeah.
let loose a little bit more.
Exactly. What do you think about that allegory?
I like the allegory of the cave more.
Yeah, the allegory of the cave is much cooler, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's the meme where it's like it's the same Plato's cave, but then with a disco ball there, and then it's like allegory of the rave. And I love the fuck out of it. I love
That's
that
pretty
meme
fucking
so
cool.
much.
Yes, I do like the allegory of the rave. Yes,
Yeah,
that's pretty
it's
cool
amazing.
too.
But yeah, that's
But yeah, again, do you feel you have improved from what you were 10 years ago, 5
Of
years
course.
ago? Like a year ago? Question mark? I don't
A
know. The
year ago,
pandemic fucked
question
a lot
mark?
of shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that there has been a lot
I
of
still feel I've
improvement.
improved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like Brew Rights was started and was
Yeah.
continued until I got a job.
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
regular with that as well.
Mhm.
And so I did get better. I got banned off Reddit and then I got back on
Mhm.
Reddit because of
Mhm.
writing the freaking dark story.
Mhm.
But aside from that, like I got a job, shifted into another house, and helped my little boy get a job as well, who is no
Yes,
longer
your
amongst us
child.
with this
Mm.
podcast. Yes.
Mm.
And yeah, I think there's
People will
improvement,
actually
just
think your
not
child is not amongst us.
there's improvement. It's just not as good as I would have liked it. But well, there's
Yeah.
still time.
But that's good.
I
Like,
have
it's
another
some
good 10 years
improvement, right?
before I die.
Yeah.
I hope.
You
What is it?
hope. But yeah,
2022?
no, definitely.
2022?
Even I
Ooh,
feel
it
the
seems
same
far
way.
away.
Even I feel like I have been improving, and that's a good thing. As long as I think you are improving, it's good,
Yeah.
right?
Like Plato said, you just have to figure out which to rein in more and which to let loose more. And
Yeah, which
I
to
have
let
let
loose.
loose the darker side a little bit too much,
Okay.
but need to rein that back in now.
Yeah, rein that back in.
Go back to Amor Party.
Yes, of course. And a lot of I was seeing, I forgot Yeah, Aristotle said it. Like, I get confused, but even he was talking about like like the first step to self improvement is like is like I'm paraphrasing, but is basically
Don't worry, I do not
realizing.
expect you to quote Aristotle word to
Yeah,
word.
yeah, yeah. Is realizing that you're like dumb, basically you're stupid,
Yeah,
and that you need to improve. Like having the knowledge that you're dumb
yeah.
is like, first step when it comes to self improvement, because you realize that
Aristotle
there's ways to
basically
go.
just told Socrates, says, I know nothing.
Yeah, basically, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you think you're perfect, you're
I
not going
rem-
to improve anything.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember even my boss, Bob, used to say that all the time when I was in Portugal, where he was like, even he used to say, like, you knowing you're stupid shows that there is like room for improvement. You should
Yeah,
always realize that, because people who think they're like super smart or intelligent are the ones that actually know nothing.
yeah.
Hmm.
And like one of the main things I hate about people on LinkedIn specifically,
Hmm.
because and LinkedIn, I have to write a lot for LinkedIn. I mentioned this before. I have to write a lot on
Hmm.
for LinkedIn, so it is disgusting. Like some people put up such blatantly false stories just to
Okay.
show that, just to prove a fictional point that they probably don't even like really believe in. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
really, why do you, what do you get out of, what joy do you get out of lying on the internet? Do you get clients? Do you get like better job offers? What is it? And
I don't know. Hmm.
there was this one guy who was like, I got this applicant who
Mhm.
literally took the entire app that we coded and showed it as his coding. I don't blame him though. I blame the industry for putting
Mhm.
such standards on. We should do that. Like, dude, if I'm pretty sure if somebody actually came to you stealing your
Mhm.
freaking app and then claiming they did it all on their own, you'd ask them to get the hell out. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna sit there and
definitely.
let them be like, yeah, I did this, I did that, ha ha ha.
No, the thing is, like, so of course I'm not on any social media. I don't put
Yeah,
myself up except this podcast, I guess. But this is not really what you would call traditional
yeah.
social
Social
media, to
media,
where you
yeah.
have an account and you post shit about your life, right? So I'm not on that at all. But I have read and seen things where, like, social media people try to put a version of themselves that they want other people to see, like a more
Exactly.
likable, nicer version of themselves, or a version they want to be, question mark, like maybe they want to be. But do you think like putting that, pseudo nice version of yourself up there actually, like, gives you like hope to be that, or is just like a fake wall that's like just
Yeah, right.
broken down and shows does it help you improve or no? Like, is it,
I don't think
you know
so.
hmm.
If
Yeah,
anything,
even I
if
think
anything, I
that.
feel like the more you fake it, the more you, like, it goes into a bad form of improvement where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
in my last photo I made my waist look thinner, now I need to make it look even thinner because that person has
Yeah.
started making or I feel like my waist isn't thin enough anymore for these people. They need to see something, they need to see that I'm doing better than before, so I'll make it thinner and thinner
Mm.
until you're like a pencil.
Yeah.
Or
No,
just like,
definitely.
or
And that
even put
affects a
up
lot of
like
other people who are
photos.
on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or like I know a lot of people, okay, like I'm not even kidding, I know people who have put up like these stories and images where it's like,
Mm.
oh my god, I love life so much, and I talk to them and I'm like, I'm so fucking depressed, dude. I'm not even kidding, I'm going through the
Yeah, dude,
toughest time in
like,
my life. I'm like, dude, why would you, why are you trying to fake it? Just agree that you're having a bad time, get through the
yeah,
bad
it's
time, then put up
okay.
whatever you
Yeah.
want. It just doesn't make
Hmm.
sense for me to,
No,
someone to fake it like
definitely.
that.
And yeah, a lot of, yeah, it's good that I avoid that and don't see. I know nothing about anyone's life unless I talk to them.
Yeah,
But a lot of people also try to show that life is like really interesting and all these things, like, oh look, every day I do these so many thousand interesting things, where
yeah,
like it doesn't need to be that. Your life doesn't need to be like super interesting 24/7, or it can be in your own way, but you don't need to like share it with anyone.
yeah.
But again, for people who survive on social media and are making money off of it, it works for them.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
Because
that then it becomes your
yeah,
job. But
yeah, then becomes your job, and it
doing it,
really works for them. But hmm.
doing it every day and faking it
In a
every
lot
day
of
is just
cases I feel I
exhausting.
should do it, because like as an artist animator, I think it will help me get more work and get better at what I'm
That it will.
doing. But at the same time, so I think it's important for me to do also, because like a lot of artists put their work on it. It's a good way
Yeah,
of getting like recognized by people.
A
But
lot of
for me,
people
I'm
even do
also
Twitch
just
streams
like,
where they literally just draw.
yeah,
And
just draw. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's important, but I just don't want to do it. Like, I'm just like, why should I do it? Hmm. I
well
don't
said, I can
see
make a social
a
media
purpose in
plan
it
for
for
you as
me.
well. And
Yeah,
Deep says people do that
sure.
IRL too. Everyone tries to present the best version of themselves, at least to new people they meet, and some people do that for a long time. Yeah, I mean, if you meet someone
Yeah,
new
people
and
do
they're
that.
like, dude, I'm so depressed, what's up? Like, I don't think that's a great way to start a conversation. But I can understand the IRL stuff, but then the
A lot of
online
people
stuff,
show off IRL. Yeah.
yeah. But the online stuff is like intentionally just fake for a lot of people, which is not great. And
Yeah, and
LinkedIn is
even the
ultra trash. I just scroll through it for jobs and don't trust job descriptions either, says Control
yeah,
9K. Very fair. Yeah, LinkedIn's
all the same shit
scam.
copy pasted.
Yeah.
No, but based on what Deep also said, like IRL people always present like if you meet someone new, they'll always present. Most people will just present the best version of themselves. Everyone doesn't do it, but yeah, most people do, because they're like, hey, look at me, I'm like this and that, and I do this, and it reminds me of like the secular Buddhism podcast, like Noah Rasheta, one of the early episodes where he's talking about the self and he uses the analogy of the car, like
Yeah.
if you remove wheels from the car, is it still a car? If you
Yeah.
remove the steering wheel, is it still a car?
Yeah.
Right? If you remove the engine, is it still a car?
What
And you call
makes
it a
a
car.
car a car?
Yeah. So they're like, what makes you you? If you remove your job description, like what do you do for work? If you remove all the places you've been to, if you remove your hobbies, and like, is it still you at the end of the day? If you remove how much money you have, is it still you? Then that's like, yeah, it's still me, and I don't need to like show off and say all these things that,
Exactly.
hey, I do this and this and this when you meet a new person, right?
It's just like, hey, I'm me.
Mm.
Stupid at times, most times,
Yeah.
but trying to do
But
better.
I think like, yeah, I will admit, like, yeah, when I was much younger, if you meet someone new, you're always saying good shit about yourself, like, yeah, I do this. But now I'm at this stage where I'm like, nah, like, just
I'd say
I
bad
don't
shit.
even do that. No, I don't even say bad shit. I just like say shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about
Makes
presenting the
sense.
best version of
Yeah.
myself. I'm just like, just being
I mean,
me,
but
just talking.
I don't fault anyone for presenting the best version of themselves
Yeah,
IRL,
definitely not.
because like otherwise people are just literally going to flee away from you.
Yeah, and you gotta, even like when it comes to work and all, you gotta sell yourself all the
Yeah.
time. Like that's what they say, right? To grow and all that.
Yeah.
So it is important. Yeah, maybe we are
Definitely.
doing it wrong, right?
Maybe we are, and maybe we'll
Yeah,
figure
maybe we
that
are
out one
wrong.
day.
Yeah, maybe we are the ones who are making big mistakes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Probably.
that's a good
Hmm.
place to stop, I think, because my back is telling me to stop as well. But
Okay, cool.
but yeah, well, guys, here let's do some audience interaction, guys. How about this
Wow.
on our Discord? Especially you, Dan, because you're having problems. Why don't you say something? Why don't you tell us one point that you want to improve upon in your life, and maybe we'll help each other track it. Just do something, give some advice, share some experiences,
Even
and
though we guarantee we are in no place to do that
yeah,
and
I'm
quite
not saying
dumb.
we are going to be the only
Yeah.
ones. I'm saying everyone on the
Yeah.
Discord can
Yeah.
talk
We are
about
gonna
it.
try to help. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that'll give you enough motivation to do something,
Maybe.
start
Yeah.
something new, maybe change your life for the better.
Hmm.
But
Definitely.
that is pretty much it for this
Yeah,
episode.
you
We shall be
can
back.
start discussions, also like leave
Yeah,
comments if you want, like, just let's,
and you YouTube fuckers, like the video. The
yeah,
algorithm
like
likes it when people like the video.
Hmm. And we like it.
Yes, we like it too. We need that dopamine hit. But yeah, and also what we will, I don't know, we don't have a topic decided, but we will put it up on Discord once we decide what the topic is.
Yes, we'll let you guys know like we used to. Or
Yeah,
if you guys have suggestions,
yeah,
always
if you have
let us
any
know on our
suggestions, it'll be
Discord.
great.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Open to the Hmm.
Control 9K is going to say some random shit about ketamine or something, and we're not going to discuss that. So,
Next week we talk about ketamine.
but yeah, my advice would
Hmm.
change your lives, but I am not on Discord. Hey, how about you join the Discord again?
Hmm.
We're active now, okay? For Christ's sake.
Change lives for the better? Question mark.
That he specifically did not say that, so I'm very
Yeah,
suspicious
exactly.
about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, guys, we shall see you next week. See you,
Hmm. See
and
you.
yeah, let us know. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.